As forest fire is to the forest trees, a leopard to the deer herds, and a lion to stately elephants, as the sun to the darkness of night and as Krishna to Kansa, so was King Shivaji, a lion towards the hordes of Mlechas, said Swami Vivekananda. Such a great hero without whom Bharat won't be what it is today. He was Chhatrapati Shivaji. He was the torchbearer of the mighty Maratha Empire, one of the greatest leaders that Bharat has seen. Do you know who Shivaji's father was? Shahuji Bhosle was a commander-in-chief in Adil Shah's army. Any son would want to become like Mughal commander, like his father, right? But Shivaji became the greatest threat to the Mughals. That was because of the vision for Hindvi Swaraj, inspired in Shivaji by his mother Jijabai.
Bharat should be ever grateful to Jijabai. This lady was a very unique mother. Her husband was working with the Sultan and she groomed Shivaji to be who worked for Hindu Swaraj. This is not an ordinary feat. When your husband is working for a Sultan and the mother is able to bring the child as one of the greatest Indians, Chhatrapati Shivaji.
Right from his childhood, Jijabai inspired him with stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas, tales of heroic kings. She instilled in him all the values required for a great leader. Shivaji was trained in martial arts and civil administration by his uncle Dadoji from a very young age. At what age do you think Shivaji would have become a leader? He was 16. He gathered around him a band of officers who were loyal. He strategically found a place that was away from the imperial power center and established a Rajya with local peasants, Maulis, as his subject. Shivaji had an extensive knowledge about his region. He knew every mountain, hillock, river, rivulet, fort and valley like the back of his hand. His soldiers had detailed maps of the terrain. Shivaji's army was skilled in guerrilla warfare. The army used unusual and out-of-the-box ways to fight the enemy in dangerous terrains. Shivaji understood that most of his force had large armies while he didn't have as many number of soldiers in his army. So he lured the enemy into his terrain and launched surprise attacks. This way his smaller army was deemed dangerous by his enemies. He also had an extensive spy system. Shivaji always believed that forts were the bedrock of Swarajya. He recognized that the power of Maharashtra meant control of the forts. Shivaji ensured every fort had multiple entry and exit points. Only the king and his close circle would know about the Chor Darwazas, concealed back doors for the quick escape. Huge water tanks were built on top of the fort, enough to serve hundreds of soldiers. The steps leading to the fort were made uneven in height. The horses of the enemy would find it difficult to climb, especially in dark, without a fumble. To avoid one individual gaining too much power over the forts, Shivaji abolished the rights over the forts held by the local chieftains. The officers were also sent to different forts on rotational basis. The Shivaji Maharaja's military genius was far ahead of his times. He built a large and effective navy. The Maratha Navy patrolled the coastline, defying all major European powers and the Siddhis. More than 13 seaside forts were built during Shivaji Maharaja's lifetime. Jaigarh, Vijayadurg, Sindhudurg are a few. Shivaji's bravery and love for Bharat is widely known. But did you know that Shivaji was very fond of Hari Kirtana?
When Shivaji was very young, he listens to Tukaram's lectures, abhangs, etc. And one day he decided and he went to Tukaram and he said, let me join your group. I don't want anything, I'll follow. Take sannyas like, I want to be a mendicant like you. Tukaram said nothing doing. Said Shivaji told him very clearly, I am not your teacher nor your mentor. There's another person who will come and guide you. You have bigger roles to play. And Tukaram was not interested in taking Shivaji, one of the biggest kings that time. And that shows the genuineness of Tukaram.
Tukaram understood the prevailing situation in Bharat and the need for leaders like Shivaji. When he could have had the king as his disciple, he instead redirected Shivaji towards Guru like Samartha Ramdas.
Samartha Ramdas was a very nationalistic saint, like Vivekananda, Swami Chinmayananda, Samartha Ramdas. These are all nationalistic saints who believe that the service to the country is the service to the Lord of Lords. That was the belief. So Samartha Ramdas used to have a front office and a back office. Front office would be Hanuman temple, training people on health, etc. So he built Hanuman temples across Maharashtra. So for everyone it was a Hanuman temple and people were going, practicing wrestling maximum. But through those centers, the back end was, he was creating people who were willing to join Shivaji. He was creating nationalistic people, very patriotic, who were ready to fight for Hindu Swaraj.
Can you guess the age of Shivaji when he officially became the emperor or Chhatrapati? In 1674, when he was 44 years old. He accomplished all these glorious acts without an official title. He had no obligation as a king to his people, but his vision was mighty. Shivaji Maharaja's story reminds us that we do not need title to be an inspiring and effective leader. In March 1680, Bharat lost one of its foremost sons, Chhatrapati Shivaji, to a health issue. His son Sambhaji rose to the throne at one of the most difficult periods. The Portuguese entered the coast of Goa and the Goan Inquisition started in Bharat in the early 1500s. The commoners were attacked and converted forcefully to Christianity or else burnt in masses. Temples were destroyed. Sambhaji attacked the invaders and provided relief to the Goan people. Later captured by the Aurangzeb's forces, Sambhaji was brutally tortured for over 2 weeks and asked to convert to Islam. Sambhaji refused and met a gruesome death. A brave lineage of kings and queens continued to rule the mighty Maratha Empire. Raja Ram, Shahuji, Rani Tarabai and more. The Peshwas, who were the ministers and advisors to the Marathas, took up the responsibility of maintaining the legacy of the Marathas after them. Peshwa Balaji Rao, Peshwa Baji Rao I played an important role. There were many threats to the empire, internally and externally. Yet, Baji Rao put the dream of Shivaji Maharaj, Hindavi Swarajya, as the foremost goal. The Peshwas and Holkars captured Multan, Attock and further till Peshawar. The Maratha Empire was now at its largest, from Attock to Cuttack and from Kaveri to the base of Himalayas. The Marathas, Peshwas, Holkars, Scythias truly rebuilt India. They are the symbol of resilience of Bharat. They literally made the invaders tremble and they established Hindavi Swarajya, Hindu self-rule. Our humble pranams to our brave warriors and visionary leaders who protected our Desh, Dharma and Dev. Jai Bhavani, Jai Shivaji, Har Har Mahadev.